Such a great job in this, and I'm wondering, was there any trepidation at all taking on a character played by Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Just the trepidation. It was not so much to do with taking on an Arnie role. It was more I knew that this film was held in such high esteem by maybe not the widest group of film fans in the world, but a very, an avid and passionate group of film fans. I mean, it's a cult classic, I suppose.
Yeah.
Total Recall. So I was aware of that, and I was aware of the potential of people getting annoyed and going, the lack of originality with a remake and all that kind of stuff. So I had to ask myself what I felt about the idea of remakes. And while in an ideal world, every story that would come out would be original, there's not that many original stories left. I read scripts that are first-time scripts that aren't remakes, and they're less original than how this felt to me when I read it because of how it was reimagined and stuff. So, I burst a few what I felt were bubbles of illusion myself, and just wanted to go with it. But yeah, I was aware of how highly held the film is, in many circles.
Yeah, well, it's completely different, and I thought you...
It feels different, felt different enough for me to involve myself, Yeah. As did Fright Night, the two.
Absolutely,
Not that, but really, the two did for me. Because I have an ego as well, and I was like, oh, remakes.
You have an ego?
Yeah, sure.
No, come on,
just
really?
A little one, just a little one. I checked it in, that's why you're not noticing it today. It's at the door.
Come on, I've known you for so many years.
You'll feel it on your way out. No,
you
but
keep it in
seriously.
check for me. I appreciate that. Man, was it physical. This had to be the most physical role I think you've ever tackled.
This and Alexander was fairly physical, just battle scenes. But yeah, this was, I suppose, consistently over a sustained period of time. This was 6 months of, it's full-on action, I'm either running, jumping, falling, hitting, being hit, screaming, shouting, being chased, running after someone. I mean, it's non-stop, with a couple of little intermittent dramatic scenes, which keep the creative self kind of interested, but it was a blast. I hadn't worked with my body physically like this in 7 or 8 years. I knew what I was getting into, and that was part of the reason as well. That was part of what was attractive to me. I wanted to go and do that.
And do it. And do you take on a fight scene differently when you're fighting with somebody like a Kate Beckinsale?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be as a guy, you'd be a little more hesitant. I mean, and the ladies would tell you not to be, and come on, go harder and all that kind of stuff, which, of course, I'm not used to hearing in my life.
And her husband's a director.
And her husband's the director, and to have to kiss her was trickier than having to punch her, because of course you don't punch for real, but you do touch lips. So that was trickier, but it was fine. They're really strong. Tough,
those
tough,
girls are
tough
like,
gals,
man,
tough broads.
they are tough broads. What would be your Total Recall fantasy if you could have one?
Are you on after Watershed?
Come on.
Can we?
You can go for it. We've
not
known you a long time. Go for it.
I don't know, man. I really don't. I mean,
or something that you'd really want to do. If you weren't acting, what would you want to be doing?
Antarctica. I'd like to go to Antarctica.
That would be a cool fantasy.
I'd love to go to Antarctica. I'd love to drive South America and end up down at Ushuaia and take a boat from there. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be very cool. Very quickly, we're going to see you in a comedy coming up next. 7 Psychopaths.
Oh yeah.
Can you just tell me, working with somebody like Sam Rockwell and Christopher Walken,
cool.
Crazy nut, crazy.
Sam's cool and Chris is cool. And, Happy Days. Tom Waite, Woody Harrelson, and Abby Cornish, Olga Kurylenko, Harry Dean Stanton is in it a bit. I mean, the cast, and it was ridiculous. And then, of course, the writer-director Martin McDonagh is one of my favourite people on the planet, and so it was fun. It was fun.
Well, we look forward
to
that.
Mad film. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but it was a bizarre and beautiful script.
I can't wait to see it. Always a pleasure to talk to you and see you. And
love.
come back to Toronto soon, my friend.
Will do, yeah.